The school teacher lies crumpled against the trading post wall, her face unrecognizable beneath the blood and swelling. Dust settles on her split lip. 3 men walk away, spitting and laughing. Their boots leave prints in the dirt near her outstretched hand. She doesn't move. A small crowd gathered during the beating. They watched. Now they disperse like smoke, eyes averted, complicity hanging in the September heat. No one approaches the woman. She protected the wrong child, made the wrong choice, chose mercy over safety. The child, a Lakota boy of perhaps 8 years, ran 2 hours ago, smart. She told him to run. Hoofbeats approach from the west, a single rider moving fast. The horse stops hard, leather creaking. Boots hit the ground. Kang Gi-yun kneels beside her. He doesn't speak. His hands move quickly, checking for broken bones, head wounds, breathing. His fingers are careful, impersonal, efficient. He's done this before, found broken things and assessed if they'll survive. Her eyes flutter, one swollen shut. The other finds his face. "The boy," she whispers through cracked teeth. "Safe," he says. "Home?" She tries to nod, winces. He lifts her without asking permission. She weighs nothing in his arms. Her dress is torn at the shoulder, dusty, blood-stained. She smells like fear and copper and lavender soap. He carries her to his horse, mounts with her cradled against his chest, and turns north. No one stops them. The town watches in silence. A white school teacher vanishing with a Lakota man. They'll talk for months, embroider the story with scandal. She's already ruined. This just confirms their narratives. Kang Ji feels her consciousness fading. "Stay awake," he says quietly. "Tired." "I know. Stay awake." "Your son?" "My nephew. My brother's boy." She processes this slowly. The men said terrible things about him because he's... I know what they said. Silence. The horse moves steadily across the grassland. The town shrinks behind them. Ahead, the black hills rise dark against the afternoon sky. "Where?" she begins. "My place? You need doctoring." "I should. You should nothing. You got no place left in that town. Truth delivered like stones. She knows it. She fought 3 grown men who were beating a child for speaking Lakota. For existing. She threw herself between them and the boy, and they turned it on her with the rage reserved for traitors. For white women who forget their place. She closed her eyes and protected her head and counted blows until darkness came. Now she's leaving everything behind. Her room above the schoolhouse, her few possessions, her false safety. "I don't even know your name," she whispers. He looks down at her swollen face. "Kang Gi. English speakers call me Crow." "Sarah," she says. "Sarah Brennan. Sleep now, Sarah Brennan. I got you." She shouldn't trust him. She doesn't know him. But his arms are steady, and his voice is calm, and she has nowhere else to go. She sleeps. Sarah wakes to lamplight and the smell of sage. Her body screams pain. Every breath hurts. She's lying on a narrow bed covered in wool blankets. The room is small, clean, sparse. Log walls chinked tight against wind. A stove radiates heat in the corner. Kangi sits at a rough-hewn table, mending a bridle. His hands move with practiced efficiency, awl and leather cord. Repair work done in companionable silence. He doesn't look up when she stirs. Water, she manages. He rises, brings a tin cup, helps her drink without comment. His hands are gentle, impersonal. He's touched her, only to tend wounds, nothing more. How long? 2 days. She tries to sit, gasps, ribs. Don't, he says. 3 cracked, maybe 4. You need to lay still. You need to heal. He returns to his chair. Everything else can wait. She studies him in the lamplight. Tall, lean, weathered by sun and hardship, 40, maybe. Gray, threading through his black hair. A scar runs from his left temple to his jaw. His eyes are dark, careful, missing nothing. He wears canvas pants, a wool shirt, moccasins worn soft. Your nephew, she says. He's all right? Bruised, scared, alive because of you. They were going to kill him. Kangi sets down the bridle. Yes. Silence fills the cabin. Outside, wind moves through pine trees. A horse whickers softly. My brother's boy, Kangi says eventually. Tacha means deer. He wandered into town looking for work. Thought maybe someone needs help with horses. He's good with horses. He spoke Lakota. That's his language. The men said, I don't care what they said. More silence. Sarah shifts, trying to find a position that doesn't hurt. There isn't one. You got broken ribs, split lip, concussion, bruises everywhere, Kangi recites. Black eye. Sprained wrist. You'll heal, but it takes time. I don't have time. I need to... What? Go back to town? You got no job, no room. They won't let you teach after this. Truth, like winter wind. She knows it, but hearing it spoken makes it real. I have nowhere to go, she whispers. You're here. I can't stay. Why? She gestures vaguely at everything. Him, her, the impossible situation. Kangi returns to his mending. Door don't lock from outside. You can leave when you're healed. Until then, you stay. People will say, people already saying everything. Don't matter what's true. He's right. The moment he carried her from town, her reputation died. A white school teacher, disappearing, with a Lakota man. The story writes itself. She'll never teach again, never find respectable work, never marry. Her old life ended against that trading post wall. I can't pay you, she says quietly. Didn't ask for payment. Then why help me? He looks at her directly. His eyes are honest and tired and kind. You took a beating for my brother's child. That means something? I couldn't just watch. Most people can. You didn't. She looks away, uncomfortable, with gratitude. Days pass in lamplight and firelight. Kangi tends his horses, repairs tack, disappears for hours, checking trap lines. He brings back rabbits, grouse, once a deer. He cooks simple food, stew, cornbread, prairie turnips. He never asks her to help, never expects anything. At night, he sleeps on the floor near the stove, gives her the bed without discussion. She protests once. He ignores her. Ta-Cha visits, shy and worried. He brings her wildflowers, says nothing, leaves quickly. His face still carries yellow-green bruises. "Thank you," he whispers on his third visit, "for protecting me." "You're welcome," Sarah says. It was the right thing. He looks at her with eyes too old for his face. White people don't usually think so. After he leaves, Sarah cries quietly into the wool blanket. Kangyi pretends not to hear. October arrives cold and sharp. Her ribs heal slowly. She starts moving around the cabin, testing her strength. Kangyi watches without comment. One morning she rises early, tends the fire, makes coffee. When he wakes, she hands him a cup. "Thank you," he says. It's the first domestic thing she's done. A small claiming of space. Winter comes early to the Black Hills. Snow falls thick in November, transforming the landscape into something austere and beautiful. Sarah watches from the cabin window, still healing, still uncertain of her place. Kangyi brings in firewood, stacks it with precision. Everything he does carries that same careful efficiency. No wasted motion. No unnecessary words. "I should earn my keep," Sarah says one morning. He glances up from sharpening his knife. "You're still healing." "It's been 6 weeks. Ribs take time." "I'm stronger now." He studies her. She's learned to read his silences. This one means he's considering. "What do you want to do?" he asks finally. "Something useful. Anything." He gestures toward a pile of shirts needing mending. "My sewing's terrible." It's an offering, a way to contribute without strain. She takes it. They fall into rhythms. She mends clothes, prepares meals, keeps the cabin orderly. He tends animals, checks traps, chops wood. They work in parallel silence, comfortable as old married couples, though they're neither old nor married. Ta-Cha visits regularly now, less frightened. He teaches Sarah words in Lakota. She's a poor student, but persistent. "Filamayaye," she practices. "Thank you." "Close," Ta-Cha says, grinning. "Filamayayapi." Kangyi listens from the doorway, something almost like a smile, touching his scarred face. One afternoon, riders appear. 3 white men from town, led by Marshal Hendricks. They don't dismount. Kangyi steps outside. Sarah watches through the window, her chest tight with old fear. "We're checking on Miss Brennan," Hendricks calls, "making sure she's here, of her own will." "Ask her yourself," Kangyi says evenly. Sarah opens the door, steps into the cold. Her breath clouds white. "I'm fine," she said, Sumita. Hendricks studies her, looking for evidence of captivity, of force. She knows what he expects to find. "You can come back to town," he says. "We'll find you a place." "No, thank you." "Miss Brennan, you can't stay here. It ain't proper." "Proper," she repeats. The word tastes bitter. Like beating a child is proper? Like watching and doing nothing? Hendricks shifts in his saddle. "That was unfortunate. But this is my choice, she interrupts. I'm staying. The men exchange glances. She's confirming every rumor, every whispered scandal. Let them think what they want. Your choice, Hendricks says slowly. But don't expect... I expect nothing from that town, Sarah says. Not anymore. They ride away. Kongi stands silent beside her until they disappear over the ridge. You didn't have to do that, he says quietly. Yes, I did. He looks at her with something new in his eyes. Respect, maybe. Recognition? That night, the cabin feels smaller, more intimate. Sarah lies in bed, listening to Kongi breathe near the stove. She's committed now, chosen this impossible life, burned every bridge. The thought should terrify her. Instead, she feels strangely free. December brings deeper cold. They move through days with practiced coordination. She learns his habits, how he drinks coffee black and bitter, how he never wastes anything, how he speaks more to horses than people. He learns hers, how she reads by lamplight, how she's afraid of total darkness, how she flinches at sudden movements. One night, she wakes screaming from a nightmare, the beating replayed in sleep's cruel theater. Kongi is there immediately. You're safe, he says. Sarah, you're safe. She's shaking, can't stop. He sits on the edge of the bed, careful not to touch without permission. Can I? He asks, hand hovering. She nods. He holds her hand. Just that. Palm to palm. Steady pressure. My wife, he says into the darkness. She died 5 years ago. Fever. I couldn't save her. It's the first personal thing he's shared. An offering of equal vulnerability. I'm sorry, Sarah whispers. Her name was Witch Hoppy. Morning Star. She was... He stops. Starts again. She was everything good. They sit in lamplight and shared grief. Two broken people finding temporary shelter in honesty. I was engaged once, Sarah says eventually. In Pennsylvania, before I came west, she can't say it. He hurt me. I ran. Kongi's hand tightens on hers. He's still living? I don't know. I hope I never find out. If he comes here, Kongi says quietly, he won't leave. It should frighten her. Instead, she feels protected, chosen, worth defending. Winter deepens. They survive on stored food, trapped game, careful rationing. Some days they barely speak. Others, conversation flows like water, about books, horse, weather, memory, loss. She learns he was educated at a missionary school. Hated it. Learned English to understand the words used against his people. He learned she taught because it was the only respectable work available. That she loved the children, but hated the hypocrisy. They're building something, not romance. Something stranger and more necessary. Partnership forged in isolation and mutual respect. Spring comes late, but insistent. Snow melts, revealing muddy earth and dormant grass. Sarah stands in the doorway, watching water drip from the eaves. 7 months since the beating. 7 months of winter isolation with a man who saved her life and asked for nothing. She's changed. Stronger, her body healed, her spirit less fractured. She moves through the cabin with ownership now, not tentative gratitude. Kangi notices, says nothing, but his eyes track her differently. One morning he brings her outside to a cleared patch of earth behind the cabin. "Garden," he says, "me if you want." She stares at the tilled soil. It's an offering, a suggestion of permanence. Gardens take seasons. Gardens mean staying. "I don't know how," she admits. "I'll teach you." They plant together. His hands guide hers, covering seeds, spacing rows, packing soil, beans, squash. The three sisters, he calls them. They grow together, support each other. Like us, Sarah thinks, but doesn't say. Tatcha visits more frequently now. He's grown taller, less haunted. He brings his uncle's teaching, how to identify plants, track animals, read weather. Sarah learns eagerly. "You're a good student now," Tatcha teases. "Better than with Lakota words." "I'm still learning those too," she protests. "Thakoja," Kangi says, pointing at his nephew. "Grandson, nephew, family." "Thakoja," Sarah repeats carefully. Both males smile. It feels like acceptance. But spring also brings visitors. A missionary couple arrives one afternoon, faces pinched with concern and judgment. "Miss Brennan," the wife begins, "we've heard about your situation. We've come to offer Christian guidance." Sarah's jaw tightens. Kangi stands silent behind her. "I need no guidance," Sarah says. "Living here, unwed, with a—" The woman can't finish. Her husband clears his throat uncomfortably. "With a man who saved my life," Sarah says clearly, "who's shown me more Christian charity than anyone in that town. But your reputation is already destroyed. You're 7 months late with your concern." The missionaries leave, scandalized. Sarah watches them go, then turns to find Kangi watching her. "You could have gone with them," he says quietly. "Found respectable work. Started over. Is that what you want?" "I want you to have choices." She steps closer. "I'm choosing this. Choosing to stay." Something shifts in his expression. Hope, carefully guarded. "Why?" he asks. "Because I'm safer here than I've ever been. Because you've never asked for anything I wasn't ready to give. Because—" She stops, gathering courage. "Because home isn't a place. It's being known and choosing to stay anyway." Kangi reaches out slowly, gives her time to refuse. She doesn't. His hand cups her, cheek, thumb, gentle on her jaw. "I see you, Sarah Brennan," he says. "All of you. The parts you think are broken. They're not broken. They're proof you survived." She closes her eyes, lets herself be seen. Summer arrives in waves of heat and growth. The garden flourishes. Sarah tends it daily, watching seeds become plants, become food. Physical proof of commitment, of roots going down. She and Kangi move around each other with increasing ease. Hands brush passing bowls. Shoulders touch, working side by side. Small intimacies building towards something larger. One evening, as they sit outside watching stars emerge, Sarah speaks. "I was so afraid," she says. "After Pennsylvania, after him, I thought I'd never feel safe with a man again."
Kangi waits. Roshona, as always, but you're different when you give me space to breathe, to heal, to choose. Everyone deserves that, he says simply. Not everyone gives it. He considers this. My grandmother used to say, home is where someone fights for you to stay whole. Not fights you, fights for you. Wise woman. She was. He pauses. You got a home here, Sarah. Long as you want it. She takes his hand. His skin is warm, calloused, honest. I want it, she says. I want this. They sit in comfortable silence. Above them, stars wheel in ancient patterns. Around them, the land breathes summer warmth. Between them, something fragile and true takes root. August brings harvest. They work together, bringing in vegetables, preserving food for winter. Ta-Cha helps, chattering about horses and hunting and the future. Uncle's different now, he observes one afternoon. Smiles more. Sarah glances at Kangi across the garden. He is smiling, just slightly, as he works. So am I, she admits. That night, Kangi brings out a wooden trunk from the corner, where it sat untouched all these months. This was Wichapi's, he says, her things. I couldn't... He stops. Starts again. I kept it locked. But I think she'd want you to have what you need. Sarah kneels beside him. Are you sure? I'm sure. Together, they open it. Inside, blankets, a beaded dress, cooking implements, small precious things. Evidence of a life lived and loved. Take what helps, Kangi says. She'd understand. Sarah lifts a beautifully beaded pouch. This? Hers for sewing. Now yours. It's not replacement. It's continuation. Making new life from old love. September arrives, 1 year since the beating. Sarah stands at the garden's edge, surveying what they've built. Rows of food. A tight cabin. A life stitched together from broken pieces. Kangi joins her. They stand shoulder to shoulder, watching light fade over the hills. You protected my nephew, he says quietly. Now, I protect you. Always. We protect each other. Sarah corrects. He nods slowly. Yes, that's better. She leans against him. He wraps an arm around her shoulders. They fit together like hand-carved joints. Not perfect, but strong. Thank you, she whispers, for finding me, for bringing me here. You saved yourself, Kangi says. I just offered shelter. You offered more than that. You offered choice, dignity, time. They watch stars emerge. The same stars that witnessed her beating now witness her healing. The same earth that received her blood now feeds her garden. We built this, Sarah says. Together. Yes, Kangi agrees. And we'll keep building. It's not a proposal. It's something better. A recognition of what already exists. Partnership forged in crisis. Strengthened by choice. Sustained by respect. Inside, lamplight glows warm. Their cabin. Their home. Their future. Unfolding one careful day at a time.